In page 85, I like your description of qualia. Very useful. I agree that people should know what qualia is, and I agree with your description of it. But your thought experiment with the scientist studying color, you said that she knew everything about color, but she walked out and suddenly she could see, and there was more to know about color. Oh, wait, okay, that's right. You said she knew everything material about color. But one of the material things about color is how the physical brain, which is made of physical neurons, processes those light photons and turns them into qualia and experiences them as qualia. Now, if she fully understood this, then she would know that to know everything about qualia, she would have to repair her eye and neural circuitry that couldn't see color, or else she wouldn't know that material aspect of it, because it's still a material aspect. It's something a material machine known as a brain experiences from its own point of view. She has one of these points of view. So she can have access to this qualia of color if she would simply repair the machinery in her brain, which was broken and not allowing her to see it. And if she really understood everything about material, the material nature of color, she would understand that, and that she had not yet had the qualia unless she could make those repairs. So that's the problem with your description. Now, I agree that Christianity is not at all compatible with materialism, and that's basically why. You see, basically, the idea that there's something beyond material that made material, which is interesting because anything that interacts with material is material. Ah, but this act of spontaneous creation, that's not quite the same as interaction, is it? So the idea is that this God has to be beyond the material. That's one of the reasons to think, it hasn't worked out so far, things beyond the material. Certainly plenty of things in the material world we don't understand exactly. But if we learned everything about them, then say, but we wouldn't know how to feel them. Well, then we didn't learn everything about them. It is a material brain doing that feeling. So there are material facts to learn about that, right? There's ways to create an organ that attaches to the brain and gives a qualia, including a new qualia, new to you because you had a damage that's been repaired, or new to you because evolutionarily you've never felt it before. Perhaps technologically, a new qualia created by some artificial organ. And these would all be material devices with material results. And qualia is a material result. It's just very convenient when you get to pretend that the brain is not made of material, and therefore its sensations are somehow not material. Yes, I do believe in qualia, and I do have a mind, and I am a materialist. I base my definition of materialism on data processing qualia. The very, very consistent qualia which I think or have proven to be shareable. These are the qualia I call sensible. And the real world is whatever that sensible world is. And the real world is not so much of an explanation, but a word for the fact that I can share some of my descriptions of quality with other people, and they recognize them and claim to be able to describe the same quality. Okay, and that's my definition. That's where this materialism comes from. And it turns out that everything that I can experience comes to me through qualia. So the idea that I could experience something like a connection with God and somehow it not be material doesn't make sense, because qualia is what defines materiality. If you have a very consistent stream of, or substream, I guess you call it, quality in your overall sense of perception, that is a perception of God, then that would be defined as material just the same way everything else defined as material is. And it would be energy and mass, because so far it would appear that all of our qualia can be broken down into energy and mass in physical ideas. And it's somewhat assured because that's where the definition of physical comes from. Only if it's inconsistent and can't be put onto a consistent basis would it, would it not be material? And you don't want to claim that about God if you believe in God, because of course God's been there moment by moment, age after age, for all time, and has had a profound influence on the world around. You can't say, oh, it's not consistent, not noticeable, right, if you believe God exists. So think about that.